Our 5 fave features in iOS 12.2, Firefox sends encrypted files for free, Battlestations, Apple Arcade, automating reboots, and more, all coming up on TekThing. A big shout out to our patrons, patreon.com/TekThing. Join the crew that makes TekThing possible. That's patreon.com/TekThing. We want to thank each and every one of you that contributes to the show.
I'm Shannon Morse.
And I'm Patty Norton.
And this is TekThing, where we have something useful in every single show.
I'm going to talk about this later in the show, but I just have you seen yes, you've seen it. She's seen it. I don't know if you've seen it. KilledByGoogle.com. This is so good.
This is so good.
So many old friends. Chromecast audio. And Google Allo, that wasn't really a friend. Inbox by Gmail. Fusion tables.
The URL shortener.
Oh, Project Tango. Glass OS.
Chromebook Pixel.
Google Map Maker. So many dead projects.
The Nexus.
The Nexus Player.
Oh my gosh.
It just kind of goes on for a while.
I mean, I guess when you're that big of a company, you got a lot of things that just die.
I have thoughts on that statement.
Okay.
There's a thin line between things dying, right? Circle of life. Things are born, they age, they die, it's a thing. And then there's just taking your children and drowning them in a river in a sack like old puppies.
Oh my gosh.
Although that's a metaphor a friend of mine used to use all the time.
Oh.
When he was talking about layoffs at his company.
Oh, geez.
Just took that division down by the river like a sack of
Oh my gosh,
puppies.
that's so dark.
It is.
Oh, geez.
He was feeling really dark at that point.
Well, we have something exciting today.
Yeah, speaking of updates, or being dark, or dark updates, iOS 12.2 is something every iOS user should install right now, at least if it's available on your device. Let me pull up the page for this. This is kind of amazing about the security content of iOS 12.2. So first of all, let me say pretty much everything from going back to the iPad, or the 5S and the iPad Air, can take these updates. There are 51 patches and vulnerability fixes, including my personal favorite, which is down here somewhere, which involves WebKit, patching a flaw that allowed websites to access the microphone on your iOS device without notifying you.
Cool.
There are other patches for mail, messages, contacts, FaceTime, the kernel itself, power management. I wanted to give a shout out. They have the common vulnerabilities and exposures, the CVEs, and they give a shout out to the people who discovered all of these. This just made me so happy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was just like, not only are they patching them, but they're
Imperium,
being like, hey, you know.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a lovely shout out to people who helped make their operating more secure.
Yes, absolutely.
Their operating system more secure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, paying for bugs is good too. I'm not an Apple Maps fan. I tend to avoid it, but they added a really cool feature into it, the air quality index. So as you're hovering over an area down in the corner, it's really tiny. I thought it was really cool, especially because we're heading towards the bigger fire season.
I'm actually extremely curious about that because of the wildfires here in California. And not only that, but also the Chevron refinery is here in the Bay Area. So and they've had flare-ups, and who knows what's happening with that air quality.
Like 3 weeks after I started working out of the old office in Richmond, I was doing a podcast
that big flare-up?
Yeah.
With all the black smoke?
Darren comes in and he's like, you have to go now. And he shows me a picture of flames heading towards the sky. But apparently that was just light reflected, not actual flames. Sure. Control Center and lock screen get new TV controls. Siri sucks a little bit less. tvOS 12.2, when paired with iOS 12.2, I'm quoting here, is designed to allow users to ask Siri to play specific media on an Apple TV from an iOS device. Cool. And AirPlay finally does some better multitasking, so you can browse other apps as well as play short-form audio and video locally on your device without interrupting AirPlay. Somebody at Apple has kids, and I forgot to check. I may even have the stupid 5G icon, because
how exciting!
Yes, my carrier. I'm also, I gotta say, Apple's credit card is fascinating.
I've been hearing a lot about this thing.
Well, okay, so there's no numbers.
Yeah.
And they give you a ton of cash back. Actually, that's the part you'd be interested in. They give you cash back
I'm a couponer.
daily. Quote, customers will receive a percentage of every Apple Card purchase amount back as daily cash, 3% for purchases from Apple, including the Apple Store and the iTunes Store and everything, 2% for other things you use the Apple Card with Apple Pay for.
All right, not bad.
I just want to point this out for the second or third time. There it is. That lack of numbers is how the card's going to look.
That's cool.
I love this.
It's very pretty, very clean.
I went through like 4 ATM cards in less than 24 months. Thanks, Home Depot. Thanks, Target.
Oh, yes, the Home Depot and Target hacks.
I also had several $100s in charges punched manually into Uber rides and Uber food deliveries in the South Bronx around, I want to say, Thanksgiving a couple years ago. I'm really kind of down with the no numbers thing. And it ties into your Apple Pay account. So it's an Apple kind of thing.
So I wonder, because I used to do credit card processing before, the job of podcasting on YouTube. I wonder if there's a mag reader on the back, a stripe, or if there's 3, or how many.
That's a fine question.
And if there is not, is it just chip? If so, cool, because chip is a little bit more secure. I'm very curious. I need to look up some more security on this thing and find out.
As far as I know, there is no stripe on it because it has to be used with something that supports Apple Pay.
Okay.
My loose understanding. We will investigate, or you will email us, ask@tekthing.com. But I am fascinated. I'm also kind of curious to see what happens to all of the credit card companies that worked with Apple to help launch Apple Pay, and if they're not pissy that they partner with Goldman Sachs to do this. Also, we should probably mention the Apple News.
Oh.
It's Netflix for magazines. Free
fun.
1-month trial, $10 a month after that. And if you sound beginning kind of Apple TV Plus is coming in the fall. The Apple TV channels is really interesting. The idea that they're going to kind of decouple your HBO, your Showtime, your Amazon Prime, your whatever content from the individual apps. So you search for something, you can play it wherever it's available. I'm trying to decide if this is going to be more useful or if this is something you sort of blend in iTunes purchases with all of the stuff you have for subscriptions.
Yeah.
Or if it's just going to be one of those nightmare migrations in my house where my whole family looks at me with rage because Apple or Amazon or Roku changed something that they love. And of course, the big thing, the Apple TV app is also coming for Roku, and Apple TV Plus is coming this fall.
That's awesome.
There are famous people. Oprah Winfrey, Spielberg, Witherspoon, lots of other people. They had this short sizzle reel, but no actual okay, so Oprah's doing a couple documentaries, and there's going to be a sci-fi thing, and so it just seemed really rushed.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say about that. It's coming this fall. We don't know the price. We don't know the launch date. We don't know the content. We don't know the slate. But in 150 countries, give or take. But yeah, Apple's finally taken on Netflix and Amazon Prime with original content in a big way.
That's pretty exciting. I like having more competition in that industry.
I'm curious. But now it's so right now to get American Gods, I need Starz, which is on Amazon Prime. But I get Amazon Prime for free, so I pay for Starz. I ppay for HBO Now HBO Now, so I can get Game of Thrones. I pay for Netflix because Netflix. And then
I understand from
Marvel
the
and
subscription
Disney.
cost point of view that it's oh great, another one that I would have to subscribe to. But that's assuming that they have something that you would want to watch.
Yes, but that's the problem. Is all these media companies are working really hard to create something you don't want to miss. I mean, for example, there are stuff I would watch except that it's on Hulu, and I just refuse to deal with Hulu on principle.
Yeah.
Pay to watch more ads. No. No thanks.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, well. Got a question? Email ask@tekthing.com. We're waiting for your emails. Hadi tweeted at @TekThing, is it good practice to restart your phone even if nothing is wrong? If so, how often? Why? On the Samsung S10 under device care, there is a setting to refresh with auto restart. Should I use this feature or not? I just want to say, first of all, I like the idea of Comic Sans inside of a $1,200 device because I don't know. There it is. Yeah, the screen is off. Is it? I love this idea because I restart my phone, or it updates, or it crashes, or I butt restart it every 2 or 3 days. I would actually love an automated restart every couple days on almost every piece of technology I own, other than my NAS boxes and my Drobo. I restarted my iPhone every 2 or 3 days. Now, I don't know if it was the placebo effect, but it always felt snappier and more functional, especially the browsers, after I relaunched the phone. You, however, are more used to the high end of Android.
I am.
So I know my device has issues because it is inexpensive. One might expect at the high end of Android more robust and better tuned firmware on the phone.
I guess so.
Do you? Well, you would hope a $1,200 device would have rock solid, amazing technical support, all of the firmware would be absolutely
well,
flawless.
and a lot of them do come with
least-
like more RAM and a higher powered CPU,
Right.
Which we have been seeing quite a bit lately. I probably maybe restart my phone like once a month, maybe. I do find that sometimes like my camera app will get really sluggish, or maps or the video apps, they get laggy and they get very sluggish sometimes. And at that point I will restart the thing. It does get snappy after I do that restart too, but I don't find it to be like a requirement or a necessity to restart it like very often. So once a week, definitely not. Somewhere between like once or twice a month is definitely like what I do.
In theory, right, the way the memory is handled, it should not need to be restarted, or there shouldn't be leaky apps that suck down the resources inside your phone.
Right.
But you know, I still tend to restart my phone every 2 or 3 days. Yeah, and I really, actually, what I really want is my ISP to put the ability to restart the modem every couple days.
Yeah.
Just automatically.
That would be so nice, actually.
What do you reboot regularly? We're curious. Email ask@tekthing.com and let us know what you reboot or what you wish you could reboot or remotely reboot. Ever remotely reboot a server by calling a neighbor?
No, I've never had to do that.
Just have the keys to the house. I did it for one of my neighbors.
Let us know. Ask@tekthing.com. We have a new battle station this week. It's actually a series of photos from Kaitlin.
A montage.
Who says, "Evening, Patrick and Shannon, longtime watcher of all things tech. Been following Patrick's forays into TV podcasting since the OG screensaver days.
Thank you.
Not the cleanest of battle stations, but hey, most aren't. Parts of this setup have been an ongoing process for many years, especially the networking wrap. Let's just say the whole house is wired for sound and video and networking, etc. My desk was built from scratch, and I dare say is strong enough to hold Patrick's truck.
Nice.
Current project at my workstation is a custom mini ITX set-top box, so cool, and an Xbox 360 chassis for a friend. Nice. So we have, over on my computer, pick 1 and 2, which are the network rack, which look so awesome. Wow. And then they have their main PC remotely racked for silence. I totally agree with the silence thing, that's very important. Then we have the control center, the racing setup, which actually is really cool. I love this racing setup. Pick 7, which includes the workstation, a little bit of under desk action, and you can see how organized it is under there. There's like no wiring.
Hook.
Yeah.
What is with the death hook?
The death hook. I would say I would totally hang my headphones from that. That's like exactly where I would put them. And then we have There's Something Analog right after those, which includes Waiting for Spring.
Woo, Hobie Cat.
Yeah, so they said Hobie Cat 16. Can't wait to get her back on the lake. And then we have the last one, which is the living room battle station, which also looks so freaking cozy. I would love to check that out. Great show, guys. Keep it up and many years to come. Cheers from Kaitlin in Canada. Thank you, Kaitlin. Love
Nova
it.
Scotia.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
cool.
there's a quilt there.
They also said, P.S. Hope Patrick caught some of the curling action we had on the go in Nova Scotia last month. Scotties in Cape Breton and a World Juniors in Liverpool.
I will search for that on the interwebs.
Thank you, Kaitlin. And of course, if you have battle stations that you want to share with us, send them over to ask@tekthing.com. We would love to share them with everybody out there who is watching the show.
Parenting definitely slows down my curling obsession.
I'm sure it does.
It is the best game ever. We love your questions, your tips, and your suggestions of products and ideas to check out. Please tweet at TekThing, at Snubs, or at Patrick Norton, or just email ask@tekthing.com. And a big shout out to our patrons, patreon.com/TekThing. You pay the bills, you make the show possible. Our thanks to you.
Patrick, have you heard about Firefox Send?
I have.
You have?
Well, yeah, because I copied your script into the rundown for the prompter.
That is a thing.
So I read about it. I read all about it. What is Firefox Send?
So it's over at send.firefox.com. This is their fancy little, very simplistic website. But basically, it lets you share files with end-to-end encryption and a link that automatically expires, so you can keep what you share private and make sure your stuff doesn't stay online forever, according to their website. So Mozilla, who are the makers of Firefox, released this new tool earlier in March, and it's, in my opinion, definitely worth a look. So you might be wondering wondering why, because there are a lot of options out there as far as like sending files back and forth.
Because I hate Dropbox and the idea
Yeah.
of sending massive files without dealing a third. Well, I guess technically Firefox is the
Yes.
third party because it's not me or the person I'm sending it to. But
Well, sending large files without having to like sacrifice a liver or something is kind of hard to do online unless you pay, tons of money for an account.
this is free though.
This is free, yeah. So they include end-to-end encryption and file transfers up to 2.5 gigabytes in size if you sign up for an account. And those accounts are completely free. Now, if you don't sign up for an account, you are limited to 1 gig in file size, but that's still pretty decent. I
That's
mean,
a
some
couple
emails
hundred
allow you
photos to
200
mom.
megs. Yeah, exactly. So that's perfectly fine. So this is how it works. You just go over to their website, send.firefox.com, and then you drag and drop files that you want to upload. So for example, I will just go ahead and click over here. How about, let's upload a picture, this one. I'll upload this picture. Okay, so that's our Battlestation photo. You can select multiple files if you want to upload all of them at once, up to 1 gig without signing in. And then you can choose to make the files expire after a specific amount of downloads, which would be right here. So you have a bunch of options there, 1 download all the way up to 100 downloads. Or you can also make them expire after a specific amount of time.
Oh.
So you have options 5 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, 7 days, but clicking 7 days or anything over 1 download will redirect you to the account sign up or sign in form. So if I click 100 downloads, it's gonna be like, create your account right now.
That seems reasonable.
It does seem reasonable. Like they probably don't want people to like download tons and tons or share tons and tons of files.
Yeah, without tying
Pirating,
it to
yeah, they probably want to limit pirating and stuff like that. Yeah, so it makes sense that they want to make sure that there's a little bit of a lack of anonymity there. You can also choose to protect the files with a password too. So to simply do that, you just choose protect with password. And I'll include a password, so I'll do Starbuck, which is the name of my cat. And then hit upload, and ta-da! Once uploaded and encrypted, if you have multiple files, it will create a little zip file for you to share your files, and you share them via this link. So I can copy the link, and if I download it as if I'm the person that received it, I have to put in the password. Starbuck, hit unlock, hit download, go away LastPass, I don't care right now, and then just hit save. And there we have our photo. So boom, it totally works.
Yay.
Yay! So you have your files. Here's what you can actually get perk-wise if you do create an account though. You get the 2.5 gigs of file size that you can upload, which is wonderful. You can share with more people up to 100 downloads, which is also great. You can also manage, in the future, manage files from any device. So they will have an app that is upcoming. It's currently in beta. That's not bad. And you can also keep those links active for up to 7 days.
Nice.
A Firefox Send Beta Android app, like I mentioned, is available currently in the Play Store. It's still under development since it is a beta, so they might have some bugs in there. Honestly, I tried it out. The beta release works pretty good. It's pretty flawless, so I'm not opposed to downloading and trying it out right now if you want to. Firefox Send does work in any browser too, so you don't have to download Firefox if you don't want to. However, Firefox is pretty good, so I would recommend it. It's a great browser. Try it out.
If you've had issues with Chrome lately, I would highly recommend trying the latest version of Firefox.
Firefox is a wonderful alternative. The current version of Safari as of mid-March did not support it, but support should be coming, and Edge and Chrome already do, such as I was using Chrome. Now, any browser that supports the Web Crypto API and W3C JavaScript API will work. Those are usually just automatically implemented, so you don't have to worry about those as a consumer. The reason why those APIs are important is because Firefox Send can use encryption. So it uses AES GCM to encrypt and decrypt the files in your browser. So from the moment that you upload that folder or upload those files up to, Mozilla's servers, it's encrypted. So Mozilla does see an encrypted file. No contents, no file name, and no file size.
They don't know what it is.
They don't know what it is. They just know that something is there. So this is not technically zero knowledge policy or zero knowledge uploader. So keep that in mind. If you do want zero knowledge, this is probably not for you. You do lose some of that anonymity if you do decide to sign up for an account and when you upload, because they will see that something is there. especially if you sign up for that account.
By all means, break apart your giant files with 7-zip and send them in individual segments because you're feeling old school and profoundly anonymous.
But I would say, with that said, the convenience of this file sharing tool is high, and Firefox Send is open source. So you can actually, on the main website, go over to GitHub, and you can check out their open source policy. Yeah, so you can see the source code. It's wonderful. It's all there for you to see, and if you are a coder, you can audit it yourself as well. So I would say, who is this for? It's an alternative to things like WeTransfer, to Dropbox, Google Drive, for quickly sharing files with folks and requiring no collaboration. So this would not be something that, like, for example, me and Patrick use if we want to share a TekThing script or something like that.
Or we're sharing a project file for Adobe Premiere.
Because the saves are not going to be balanced on both sides of the coin. And since the files eventually expire and disappear, that means that you cannot buy any extra space on the platform. They are just recycling that space, since all of those files that people are going to be uploading eventually disappear off their servers. I recommend checking it out if you haven't already. It's encrypted, it's easy, it's a painless option for sending files. I do want to know what you use as well, if you have another painless option out there, because I send like photos to my sister all the time, like stuff like that. I usually just stick with Google Drive, but I do like the idea of self-destructing file sharing, since I would have to manually do that in Drive, and Drive runs out of space eventually. So let me know what you are using at Snubs on Twitter, or you can tweet us at TekThing or at Patrick Norton as well.
RP emails, seriously, why isn't Stadia considered vaporware? No real demo, no pricing, no date of availability. At least Magic Leap had investors giving it $10 billion. And does anyone not consider that vaporware? RP.
Ooh.
RP's on a tear. First of all, just because you have, as someone who has committed a lot of money to failed Kickstarters in the last couple of years, merely having money does not actually mean you're ever going to ship the product.
True.
Say that. And also, I want to point out, Magic Leap has $2.3 billion in investment, not $10 billion. I try not to laugh every time I read that, because it is a staggering, stupid amount of money behind the Magicverse. Because, you know, think about it, $2.3 billion, and you get a website. Free your mind, and your ass will follow. I'm thinking about Parliament Funkadelic right now. And they played that on the FM, so don't get angry at me if your kids heard that. But yeah, and they have also shipped a product, the Magic Leap 1.
Hooray!
Yeah, it's $2,300. That's the creator edition, i.e. for the developers. Our friend Norm over at Tested has tested it, and this is all I'm going to show you because I don't want to get a takedown notice off of Google, off of YouTube. Seriously though, I agree. You know, $2.3 billion is a ridiculous amount of cash. There are occasionally things in the venture capital world where everybody decides to dogpile on. And who knows, maybe this is going to change everything. Maybe this is going to revolutionize 21st century warfare. Maybe we'll all have them forcefully strapped onto our heads by the government in 5 years, and that's why they're trying to get all the money now. But, you know, this is 7 or 8 years, and they got a $2,300 headset that makes you look like an anime character. Well, developers, anyway. So, much like Magic Leap, Google's actually has a successful or beta demo project. It was called Project Stream. And I think this is one of my favorite reviews of all time. Streaming Assassin's Creed Odyssey in Google Chrome is surprisingly great. And this was from Polygon back when it launched. And, you know, they're nice people. These are nice words, because the thing actually worked. Because if you didn't get a chance to play with it, it was fascinating, because, you know, you're in a browser and you're playing the game. Will it be great for you or for us or for anybody else when it actually ships? We're talking about Stadia now here, because Assassin's Creed
that's been
Odyssey
out.
is gone. Well, it's gone now, right? Because they ended the beta. We have no idea if it's going to work. But let's point this out. This is not entirely untested. This is not entirely vaporware. They actually did something. Pound. At least it's not a Kickstarter that failed with my money. You know, frankly, I'm much more worried that a bunch of folks adopt it, get enthusiastic about it, and then Google kills it, which brings us to Killed by Google.
Oh, yes.
Because Google has a history of making things and, you know, ending them. We didn't really go through all of this. It goes on for a long way. And this list, which is huge, doesn't actually include, remember Google Wave, Google Flu Vaccine Finder?
This is so sad.
It's interesting to see like how many things on this list you've actually ever heard of. Reader, of course, is the one that really pisses people off still to this day. I'm still going. I'm not out of Dodgeball.
Jeez.
I wonder if, I don't think, FeedBurner's not on here. And I bring up FeedBurner because KilledByGoogle doesn't even include all things that Google has kind of kept alive on life support, like FeedBurner, or how they suddenly maybe didn't kill something, but took the cost for developers from free to OMG, how much I have to shut down my cool data mashup on the Google Maps API. Also, while we're speaking about not Vaporware, but not here yet, Apple Arcade. I didn't mention that earlier because I just wanted to get all gamey. This is not streaming. This is essentially iOS, Mac, Apple TV, 100 plus games that are going to be for iOS, well, for Apple devices only, right? You're going to be able to stream across iOS, Apple TV, Mac. I shouldn't say stream, you can play, because this isn't streaming games, this is actual, you'll pay a flat fee monthly, it's Netflix for games, and you will get all of these exclusive applications. What's interesting also is that Apple's apparently paying part of the development money for this to secure that they have these apps on their system.
That's
and
awesome.
Their system alone. That's coming this fall. How exciting. I'm also really, really curious. One of the names that came up was Will Wright, aka @StupidFunWill. The original SimCity creator is going to be doing a game for Apple Arcade.
Oh, cool.
That alone has me really kind of excited. I want to see what the man does with the tools.
Yeah, me too.
So
I'm curious.
a good year for gaming, bad year for gaming. You notice neither one of us is giving up on our standalone gaming PCs.
Yep, that's
or
true.
Or Steam accounts.
That's very true.
Yet.
I have a very good reason to keep my gaming PC and my Nintendo Switch.
You may, in a few months, buy yourself some sort of tablet device to replace your 2080. No, you're not.
No.
You're not. No, it's interesting. Right? And also, there's a whole bunch of stuff coming in VR this year. I'm also really curious to see if VR kind of picks up speed this year, or if it starts to limp and hobble more slowly than it has been.
Yeah, same. Well, let us know what your thoughts are on the gaming sphere in this gaming world for 2019. I'm curious. Ask at TekThing.com or tweet us at TekThing.
Please do. A big thank you to Hack5 for the studio space. Thank you, Hack5. You should check out the Security and Privacy podcast at hack5.org. They look a lot like this. Actually, that looks a lot like a pineapple. The podcasts look a lot like this. Then check out the superior pen testing and networking implant tools over at hack5.org/gear, which looks a lot like products. Yay! Including, ladies and gentlemen, network implants, such as the Packet Squirrel, the Plunderbug, and, ladies and gentlemen, the Land Turtle, which is on sale. Land Turtles are on sale. If you don't know what a Land Turtle is, go over to hack5.org and learn. They are fascinating.
All the things.
Drop a turtle, get a show.
Thank you, Hack5.
Thank you.
And remember, once in a while, put down your phone, step away from the screen, close the laptop, and do something analog, like my pick this week, which is so cool and seriously made me freak out. I'm teasing it. It's the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum with Space Shuttle Discovery. So cool to see in person. So cool. And look at all these satellites up here. So cool.
It is amazing.
It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Seeing it up close, seeing how it was built, reading all the factual information about it, and seeing all the different artifacts that have actually flown in outer space. I was hugely geeking out about this entire experience. So this is located over in Virginia, very, very close to Dulles Airport. So if you're ever flying through there, you got like a long layover or something, just run over to the museum because it's like right next door and it's incredible.
If you have kids, even if you don't have kids, plan to spend an entire day. It is amazing.
Easily,
and some of the artifacts they have there are extraordinary and mind-blowing.
I'll put the link in the show notes to the National Air and Space Museum website, which is free to enter. You just have to pay for parking. So it's well worth a trip over there. You can easily spend a few hours just wandering around and checking out all of the airplanes, not just the space area, the Space Center, but also all of the airplanes that are there.
They had
it's so cool.
And it's amazing because there were so many planes. The Smithsonian has never really broken out. And this, when they opened it like a decade and a half ago, allowed them to pull all of these planes out of mothballs. And they're huge. There's a 707 that Nolan Gay is there, which is absolutely, like every time I see it, my skull just sort of shuts down. They pulled all the Vietnam era stuff and they just keep releasing it. It's it's cool.
There's a big stealth plane there. Wow, it's so cool.
That's
Yeah.
since I was last.
Totally cool. Definitely worth a look. I'll put that link in the show notes so you can check it out yourself if you're traveling through Dulles. Yay.
We like airplanes. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Shannon Morse.
We'll see you next week on TekThing. Favorite museum ever of all time?
Ooh, the World War II Museum down in LA
Haven't been to that one.
is way up there on my list. Way up there, yeah. Wonderful, wonderful museum. It's huge too, it's gigantic. That one's really good. The Edo Tokyo Museum in Tokyo, Japan is incredible. And then this one was definitely, oh, the National, what is it, the Natural Museum? The Natural History Museum?
Museum of Natural History?
Yeah, the Smithsonian in DC, that one's really cool too.
Oh, I haven't been there since they pulled. Gosh, I haven't been that one in 20 years.
Really?
I feel so old.
It's where, if you like minerals and rocks and gems and stuff like that, it's worth checking out the National Natural History Museum. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's big too. Yeah, I need to go back to DC and not visit family. I just need to go, because my family lives there. I need to go back and just check out all of the museums for a week.
Just going to see the Constitution is mind-blowing.